name is Gwyneth James. I'm a CPA and a partner in Cody and James CPAs, and I also do some consulting work under the name Silverthorne. And I am here to speak to you today on whether or not in your business you are better off to lease the property that you are using for your business, or if you should buy it, or maybe even build. And as you probably are going to expect, there's no single answer as to whether you should lease or buy. The decision really depends on your individual circumstances. It's nothing as simple as, oh, interest rates are low, I should buy. So the first topic is, what are the plans for your business? So if you were a small business that hasn't locked down the best location for your business, you want flexibility for your space and or for the funds that you happen to have. Or if you want to be in a high-end area where properties themselves are pretty expensive, you're probably going to be leaning toward a lease. If you are a more mature business, there's no possibility that you're going to want to shift your location around. You're well established, you want to stay there long term, and there's not, or another reason is there's no leasing opportunities where you are, then you're going to want to buy or build. Next section is control. So if you are leasing, typically you have less control over the space. It belongs to someone else. There's only so much they're going to let you change. And that may not be a concern depending on the type of business you're in, but it also may be very much a concern. And also if you're leasing a space, but it's kind of more than you really needed and you really wanted to split it up and rent out part of it, you sometimes can't do that if you're leasing, but you could if you owned it. So on the owning, buying, or building section, you have more options as to how you can use that space, subject to, of course, city bylaws and permits, building permits and things like that. So what are some of the pros and cons of buying or building? So the property is going to build equity in your business, right? And you're going to be able to have that equity down the road that maybe you could leverage and use it to secure some other type of debt for your growing business. But having said that, if you are going to buy a building, you typically wouldn't put it in the same corporation or business as the one you run your operating business out of. Because, first of all, protection from creditors, which is always a key part. And also, then when you want to maybe retire or sell that business, you could sell the business and hang on to the building. And if they're in separate corporations, that's a lot easier done. One of the cons to particularly building, it almost always costs more than leasing. And so that can have a real negative impact on your cash flow for your business, so you have to watch out for that. And frequently you have to pledge your personal assets, assets to guarantee the mortgages for a business building, because there sometimes isn't just enough equity and cash flows to really make the bank feel comfortable, so they're asking you to personally guarantee everything. So that's definitely a downside. 4 is your ongoing costs. So if you have a lease, your ongoing costs are fairly controlled. The repairs and maintenance are the landlord's problem. Any major ones outside of your space are their problem, not yours. You may end up with a landlord who's unreasonable and allows the building to get run down, and so that might not be a great thing. But typically the ongoing costs are a lower risk. There's a guaranteed cash impact on your business, so you don't have to worry about all sorts of surprises. But you do have to watch out at renewal that your lease rate doesn't suddenly go up. Last but not least, moving on. So if you're leasing and you decide you do want to close your business, move your business, expand your business, open it, whatever, you just move at the end of the lease. Easy. Or if you really run into problems and you need to actually break the lease, then you pay one fee and you're done. If you own that building, in the same situation, now you're stuck with listing the building, selling the building. Probably you will trigger some sort of a tax impact from that, like a capital gain, some recapture. And then, of course, it's if you manage to sell it, how long is that going to take? So you may have been ready to go, but then the building sits on the market for a while. So that's definitely a downside to that. That's a lot of information. As I say, I will have this on the BizMap Ptbo website down the road. Okay, thanks very much.